What's going on today, YouTube? Rob here. In today's video, I'm coming at you with a dinosaur deck profile. This deck is constructed using the Dinosmashers Fury structure deck, and I hope you guys enjoy what I came up with. Before we get things started, I just want to say if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and maybe leave this video a like, and also consider commenting on what decks you might want to see next, or if you want to see me make this into a competitive dino deck for this format. And without wasting any more of your time, let's get into it. Alright guys, let's get into this Dinosmashers Fury triple structure deck profile. First off, we're going to start with triple copies of our Soul-Eating Oviraptor. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can take one dinosaur type monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. You can target one other level 4 or lower dinosaur type monster on the field and destroy it, then special summon one dinosaur type monster from your graveyard in defense position. You can only use each effect of Soul-Eating Oviraptor once per turn. Next up, we've got triple copies of Baby Ceratosaurus. If this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon one level 4 or lower dinosaur type monster from your deck. Next up, we've got triple copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 2 dinosaur type monsters from your graveyard. Once per turn, during either player's main phase, you can destroy one monster in your hand or field, and if you do, change all face-up monsters that your opponent controls to face-down defense position. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks a defense position monster, you can inflict 1000 damage to your opponent, and if you do, send that defense position monster to the graveyard. Next up, we've got 3 copies of Petite Pteranodon. If this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon one level 4 or higher dinosaur type monster from your deck, but it cannot attack this turn. Next up, we have 3 copies of Miscellaneosaurus. So during either player's turn, or either player's main phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, and during the main phase, dinosaur type monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. You can banish any number of dinosaur monsters from your graveyard, including this card, and special summon one dinosaur type monster from your deck with a level equal to the total number of monsters banished to activate this effect, but destroy it during the end phase. You can only use this effect of Miscellaneosaurus once per turn. And lastly, for our monsters, we have triple copies of Dinosmasher X. This is just a 4-star vanilla monster with 2000 attack and 0 defense. That's it for our monsters. Let's move on to the spells. So to start off our spells, we have the 1 copy of Unexpected Die. This allows you, if you control no monsters, to special summon one level 4 or lower normal monster from your deck, and that target is your Dinosmasher. Then we have 1 copy of Terraforming, which allows you to add 1 field spell from your deck to your hand. Next up, we have our field spell in Lost World. All monsters on the field lose 500 attack and defense except dinosaur-type monsters, and once per turn, if a dinosaur-type monster is normal or special summoned, except during the damage step, you can special summon 1 Jura Egg token, dinosaur-type Earth level 1, attack 0 and defense 0, to your opponent's side of the field in defense position. While your opponent controls a token, they cannot target monsters on the field with card effects except tokens, and once per turn, if a normal monster or monsters on the field would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy that many dinosaur-type monsters in your hand and or deck instead. Next up, we have 3 copies of Twin Twister. This is our spell and trap removal. This card allows you to discard 1 card, then target up to 2 spell or traps on the field and destroy them. Next up, we have 3 copies of Fossil Dig. This allows you to add 1 level 6 or lower dinosaur-type monster from your deck to your hand. And lastly, for our spells, we have 3 copies of Big Evolution Pill. After this card's activation, it remains on the field, but destroy it during your opponent's third end phase. Tribute 1 dinosaur-type monster to activate this card, and while this card is face-up on the field, you can normal summon level 5 or higher dinosaur monsters without tributing. That's it for our spell cards. Let's move on to the traps. So first up, we have 3 copies of Secret Blast. This lets you inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each card that they control. And if this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card and sent to the graveyard, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. Next up, we have 2 copies of Survival's End. This lets you destroy as many normal monsters on the field as possible. And if you do, special summon level 4 or lower dinosaur-type monsters from your deck up to the number of destroyed, but destroy them during the end phase. And you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 dinosaur-type monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls and destroy them. Next up, we have 2 copies of Survival of the Fittest. This allows you to target 1 dinosaur-type monster you control and equip this card to that target. It gains 1000 attack, and when that attacking monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can activate this effect, and the equipped monster can make a second attack on an opponent's monster in a row. Lastly, we have 1 copy of Quaking Mirror Force to round out our main deck and our traps. This card lets you, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, change all the attack position monsters that your opponent currently controls to face down defense position. Monsters changed to face down defense position by this effect cannot change their battle position. And that's it for this triple Dinosmasher Fury deck. Alright guys, that's it for this Dinosmashers Fury deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to leave a like. Also, be sure to comment on what you might want to see next, and why not comment on if you want this deck to be made more of a competitive dinosaur variant. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if you did, be sure to leave a like. And if you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel for more fun Yu-Gi-Oh videos. And as always, I will see you in the next one. That's game.